Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm taking you on board a hop-on hop-off bus as well as the legendary boat ride in Copenhagen, Denmark.
That place was only to buy the tickets. Why not just get it on the bus?
And let's start from tickets. As I walked from my hotel to the bus's starting point, I saw a tourist info office selling tickets for the same bus. However, I decided to buy on the bus since there's no benefit to getting them early. The package with both bus and boat access was 349 Danish krona. And with this ticket, you can use the bus for 24 hours and the boat ride lasts 1 hour. You get to go once. The bus is your typical tourist hop on, hop off. They will give you one-time use headphones, which you can plug in next to each seat on board and listen to the guide describing each attraction as you pass by it. They have 6 languages: Danish, English, German, Spanish, Italian, and French. And considering how quickly the weather would change within short periods, I tried both the open roof seats, the open roof at the back of the bus, which had some shade, as well as downstairs when it got very windy and cold. I also got slapped by a branch, so be careful when sitting in the open roof section while the bus passes through streets with many trees. As for the bus routes, they have 3: red, purple, and green. And surprisingly, I managed to do all 3 within the duration of my ticket, which again was only 24 hours. First, I took the red line, which is also called Classic Copenhagen. It starts at stop 12, which is right across the main railway station. And then it takes you to really the must-see attractions in the city. You will get very close to Nyhavn. Obviously, a bus this size can't quite fit in those narrow streets surrounding that area, so the bus does get close, and there's a stop there if you want to hop off and explore by foot. Then it passes the Marble Church and Amalienborg Palace. Next is the area/park surrounding the Little Mermaid sculpture. Obviously, you will need to get off the bus to get close to it, but the bus actually drives really slowly around that area, so you can see a lot from onboard as well. Next up is the Rosenborg Castle. I believe that's the stop number 9. And then it starts going back to stop 12, which is actually the first stop. So you pass some more of the city center and Tivoli Gardens. However, I didn't hop off the red line where I got on it because I wanted to go see the boat stop, because it was unclear to me why there were 2. I'll talk about that more later when we get to the boat ride. But you can hop on 2 types of boats that are both included in this ticket, but you can only do 1 ride. But they're essentially the same ride, so there's not much difference. So what you're watching right now is one of the stops, one of the boat stops. The other one is in Nyhavn, where I later decided to go instead of this one. And here you can see how close the city center is from that boat dock or terminal or whatever it's called. I took a short break from sightseeing to do some shopping. Never miss a chance to buy some Uniqlo, since there is none in the UAE. And now to the boat ride from the Nyhavn dock. First of all, what is Nyhavn? If you ask Google, it will say it's a 17th century historic waterfront and entertainment district in Copenhagen, famous for its colorful 17th and 18th century townhouses along a canal. But if you ask me, it's popular nowadays because it makes an excellent Instagram background, content, stories, posts, whatever you make of it. If you think I'm judging other people for making it that, I'm not. I fell for it too. And I booked a professional photographer to get a few polished snaps in this area. I talked about this in one of the YouTube shorts I made previously, but I did this many times, booked a professional photographer through Airbnb in the city I'm visiting, and I've never regretted it. So, highly recommend. Anyway, the boat ride. Unlike the bus, it has guides that will interact with passengers, which is necessary due to some very dangerous under the bridge passings. And also, they will tell you when to get cameras ready because some sites get passed pretty quickly. Obviously, the boat can't just stop for pictures, like what happens on the bus, because the bus gets stuck in traffic, stops at traffic lights, or they will stop at the designated hop on, hop off stops. So that doesn't happen with the boat. So you really have to be kind of monitoring your surroundings for a good pick opportunity on the boat. The boat tour is called the Classic Canal Tour. And other than the Nyhavn, which is admittedly beautiful both from the water and street, the boat will have you revisit other attractions such as the Opera and Amalienborg Palace. However, they also take you further between Copenhagen's islands and some of the wider canals, which I quite enjoyed. I don't want to spoil it all by repeating all the curiosities you will hear through the headphones, but if I can give you one tip, it would be to bring something to wear on your head because it's really windy, and especially in those wider canals where there's no buildings surrounding them that are close enough to protect you from the wind. And also the sun gets intensive if there's no clouds. So bring a hat or something to protect your head and ears. If you're visiting Copenhagen any time other than summer, they said these boats get covered and also warmed. Not sure how they fit under some of those bridges when they cover the boats, but you've been warned. After the boat ride, I went and got myself a hot dog at the Nytorv Kongens Square, where I hopped on another bus taking me back to stop 12. And this is why I love hop on, hop off. You can just use them as regular public transport while your ticket is valid. So I went back to the central train station, had coffee, saw some fancy cars on the street, I checked out other hop on, hop off tours and then got onto the green route. This route is also called Home of Carlsberg, and there's only 3 each day from stops 1 and 12. It takes you to the less touristy areas of Copenhagen, which I'll let you see in this footage here. Overall, I would recommend going, as I at least like to see the real side of any city I visit. Finally, the purple route, or its other name is Colorful Copenhagen, takes you to some of the attractions we already saw from the boat, located on islands across the city center, like Freetown, Christiania, and the Opera area. While on this ride, I bookmarked so many cute cafes we passed by where people were sunbathing, enjoying their coffee in the gardens, or next to the canals. However, this bus only takes off 3 times, so 3 times a day. So I couldn't quite hop off the bus because then it would take me forever to wait for the next one. So I just passed by this time. But next time I'm back in Copenhagen, I'm definitely going to revisit these bookmarked places because they looked so cool.